Okay.
We're,
primals.
Primals. We are undertaking the ancestral passage today.
Yeah, we got the first ancestral tenet, which is shit talk.
So I don't know that this necessarily qualifies as body mod necessarily.
Oh, I would say it does for sure.
Kind of does, right? Like it's kind of, we're in that realm still.
Yep.
It's not quite as wacky as the mutant or El Tattoo for that.
So the only thing I would say is that he has to live this way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I would say definitely a body mod.
So I would say that's a life mod.
Yeah.
Right? So we're reacting to, I don't even know his name. Do you know his first name?
I only call him the Liver King.
Yeah, the Liver King.
I heard it on the...
I've heard it.
I heard it on the More Plates, More Dates thing, and I was like, what? That's his name?
Yeah, it's not... I remember not being impressed by it.
Yeah.
Like, keep going by the Liver King.
Yeah, it's got better ring to it, to be honest with you.
The Liver King is good. That's a good name. But, like, right away, like, when I seen this guy sometime, like, I didn't see him when he first came around. I remember running into him, like, late last year, and then, like, what are we doing here? We're doing like WWE stuff.
Yeah.
Like this guy is in the real world as a wrestler.
Yeah.
Like he's basically a wrestling persona.
Yeah, he's a character.
Right? Like the whole thing was like, I'm watching a promo from like WWF 1992 or something, you know, like the way he's describing his lifestyle.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, this isn't a real human being.
No, definitely not.
Like this is a gimmick in daylight.
Yeah.
You don't
a
see
shtick.
Yeah, but he's interacting with real humans.
Yep.
And it's like, you don't see that too often.
No, I mean...
Not on that level anyway. You see people putting on faces, for sure, but like...
I think you see it more in, like, larger centers. Like, when you look at, like, if you go downtown New York and you go to, like, Times Square, it's filled with these people.
Like, just...
Characters. Yeah, they're just like playing a character, and they are known downtown as their character.
Real-life acting.
Yeah.
Because this is, like, just a dude... Like, just kind of a big dude.
Yeah, he's a big dude. Well, he's not that big of a dude.
Hats.
He's actually kind of shorter.
Yeah.
It's one of the reasons he looks so big, right?
Yeah, I heard he was only like 180 or something.
Yeah. No, he's probably 200 pounds.
Like, what the 180?
He's not that tall.
Like, good Lord.
Everything is filmed as though he's pretty tall. You know what I mean?
Well,
and when you have that
pictures,
size.
when you can control the photography,
yeah,
you can make yourself look bigger or smaller, right?
Yep.
But, like, yeah, the dude's got an impressive physique. Some people speculated he's had implants done, which he's denied. But he also denied doing steroids, and that was a lie.
Yeah.
This is Maury Povich. It's like the lie detector.
You are not the father.
Yeah.
I mean, everything's on the table when you're caught in a big-ass lie.
Yeah. Now everything's up for
That
grabs.
sucks.
Wait a minute. That's not a real fur hat.
And, like, doing the math on this, like... I mean, it has to be something in his character that thought that this was okay to do, right? Which is the scarier thing about anyone that's going to embark on a big lie.
Well, it's also, I think there was a realization of just how easy it is to kind of hack social media. But you've only got one chance at that.
Yeah.
This is something I figured out, too. Like, when I bust onto TikTok, it was the wide open sea for me.
Yeah.
It's like, however far I get in this first couple months, I'm setting my precedent, right? I got to, like... close to 1 million followers seemingly in a few months.
Crazy.
And then it narrowed down.
Yeah.
Right? So he probably seen people do that and went, I can do that. Like, I know how to do that. I could be over the top and do this, and then I'm going to make it into a money-making thing, right?
Yeah.
Like I'm sure it was the plan all along.
Yeah, it's more structured than what he would let on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's one of those things that he's hired some people to create a social media marketing plan. Mm-hmm. He's obviously been a big guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, he's a big guy.
Yeah, this didn't happen out of nowhere.
No. He's been working out his whole life. But he's probably been on gear for, like, the last 20 years, I'd say. Which is part of the reason that he needs this stuff to support him, because he's probably not optimal in terms of how his whole endocrine system works.
Yeah.
But you don't get to be this size human usually... with just being natural.
We touched on this yesterday a little bit. People are upset about this guy basically like stealing money. Like he's hawking bullshit. Like they're saying he's like a snake oil salesman because he didn't get this way by living off the land and eating liver. You know, he
never should have said that. That's
I know,
crazy.
But like
it's absolutely crazy.
But you posed a good question of like, then why don't we say that of everyone?
Yeah.
Because almost everyone that's in this kind of shape is Pretty much everyone.
Every movie's what he's on, what that stuff he's on. Now he's on a great deal of it, more than most. But what he's on is one of the most common drugs, like the main thing that he's taking, the peptide that he's taking. That's one of the most common things of all celebrities.
Yeah.
That particular peptide. Even Joe Rogan himself is on that particular peptide.
So yeah,
Apparently.
Joe Rogan's taken a lot of swings at this guy.
Yeah.
Like big time. And
Well, because he saw what it was. He saw the shtick, right?
I think no one would have a problem with it if he was more upfront about it. But then again, I think it's harder for him to sell all that shit.
Nah.
You don't?
No. Because what he's...
I think it would have been less people, but he would have been able to sustain it.
I don't think so.
There's some people out there who are like, if I eat this, I'll be him.
Yeah.
Like you know, real slack-jawed folks that they got like 9-volt brains.
I think what he was trying to speak to isn't with or without steroids. Like, the steroid use that he was using in terms of what he was using, not super aggressive. The main thing that he was using that was higher than everything else was the growth hormone. And he was using a growth hormone peptide that was higher than most people would ever use it. And it looks like he has some sort of issue with his growth hormone receptors or whatever. So
Yeah, he seemed perplexed that he's not getting bigger.
Yeah.
But, like, my thing is that if I looked like this size, this is probably as big as I need to be. Now, obviously, body dysmorphia kicks in.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
Well, he
like-
thinks he needs to be more shredded, which is crazy.
Which is also, like, body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Right? Like, where it's like, oh, no matter how big you get and how good you look, like, you're always thinking, I don't look good enough yet.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what was his goal, I wonder?
In terms of size?
Yeah.
I think this, but
His-
shredded.
I see.
Because he said he has some stubborn love handle fat, which, like, who gives a shit?
Well, when
man?
you were, like, yeah, well, I mean, some people just don't have the same bodies as
Yeah.
others, right?
Yeah, exactly.
like,
Everybody stores their stuff different.
Yeah, I mean, his abs look pretty fucking good to me.
Yeah, I mean, the thing that he might... So he has an overgrown under abdomen for sure. Like, he's pretty puffed out, like a powerlifter would be. And, like, if you see big powerlifters, they have six-packs and they look like they have beer bellies.
Yeah.
And that can absolutely happen. I think what he may have done is some, like, selective treatments in the grooves of his abs to make them look more defined than
Yeah.
they might actually be.
Yeah, I could definitely see that.
Because that shit you can do nowadays, you know what I mean? Like, there's very selective versions of this. That's another one of those lies that's been happening in the
Well, look
world.
what we're doing to breasts and asses. Right?
Yeah, oh,
We
yeah.
can't do that to parts on men, too.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Of course we can do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, look at all of the most famous celebrities. You think Kim Kardashian isn't doing that shit?
I think this guy's story would be, like, maybe as interesting but different if he was just like, I did this.
Well,
this is
one
how
of
I
his
did
like
that.
tenets is
Oh, yeah, the
living
tenets.
honestly. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, that should, if it's not, it should be a part of it. And like, that's
Man.
his real mistake in this.
This
like,
is the death of the Western world thing again. We talked about this quite a bit on the podcast, but like, we don't all have one big overlying belief system.
Yeah.
So then we all get sucked up in these little ones.
yeah. He did a guru thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's becoming a deity.
Yeah. Donald Trump did something like that too.
Oh, he's
Right?
still doing something like that.
Sure. Like,
It's insane.
these strong men will come along every so often. Jordan Peterson's another one.
Yep.
Like, I'm not saying everything Jordan Peterson did was bullshit, but
No, it's,
like,
you know.
men are wanting a big, strong man to
They want
follow.
They want daddy.
You have answers? I
want
have none.
They want a daddy. It's like we need someone to be like, hey, you need to pull up your bootstraps and do things.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we don't do that to ourselves. We don't like talk to ourselves that way.
That's what this guy did for a lot of people, and I'm wondering if now that's over for them. Do you think they endure? Do you
I
think
think
his people, the primalists, they
I think
endure?
everybody moves gurus. I think like gurus don't last very long, right?
No,
like
not
you,
at
you
all.
get these like
you find a
peaks.
chink in the armor. And
Yeah.
now they're human.
Yeah.
Good
And-
God, I can't be worshiping this man.
Yeah, he's actually just a person. And this is, again, one of the other things about, like, if he had come out with all that stuff on the forefront and admitted to his inability to be superhuman,
Yeah.
that's good in many respects. But when you're trying to market something, you're trying to market the perfect thing. You're trying to market aspiration.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, that will always fail. Right? Like, this dude, there's no way that didn't come out. He was emailing multiple people
I know.
about
Yeah,
this.
it was almost like he was asking for it.
Yes.
I think maybe it could have been to some extent, like where
I
it's
think
like,
most people that are in a segment of lying do.
Well,
they want
the
it.
behavior ramps up, right?
Yeah.
So he probably started sending out more and more of them.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's like eventually someone's going to out all this, and then I won't have to be able to live the lie anymore.
Well, the other thing that I would be curious about is how much of it was him, how much of it was his marketing team. Because, like, marketing team would never say, be honest about steroid use.
No.
Like, he's going through a doctor, so none of this is illegal. You know what I mean? He's using probably unnecessary, or like more than doctor recommended, but the doctor is technically recommending it.
Well, it's an extreme amount of strange things where it's like most people would do a more streamlined cycle from what I've seen.
Depends what you're trying to get out of it.
I guess so. Yeah. I mean, I don't know all of that, right? I've got a huge blind spots there, but like just from the videos I've seen, it was like.
So like the thing with him is like he has, I would say, good foundation.
Yeah.
Like his frame is built well. So what he's rather than get bigger and bigger and bigger, he's probably trying to maintain big and be really shredded.
Yeah.
That's like, and that is really hard at his age.
How old is he?
He's 45, 46.
This is again where it's like he kind of looks young.
Yeah. Well, that's somatropin.
Kind of looks old.
Because somatropin gives you the growth hormone thing, right? So his skin looks perfect because he's taking like a young person's version of growth hormone.
Yeah.
And like hey man, if I can afford it, that's the shit I'll be on.
Like, how long do you think before everyone's just doing this stuff?
Oh, I think
you
10
see
years.
You see it more and more.
It's expensive though, right? And since it's not something that you can purchase in a store, it's also like a kind of, you either have to know a doctor that's willing to give you this stuff, or you go gray market.
I think that goes away eventually.
Think?
I think more and more. Like, I don't think it all happens at once. I just think, like, you know, in levels and waves, we kind of chip away at that.
Yeah.
When you see health benefits, you just need to figure out, like, is it worth it? Cost benefit analysis, right? Versus what it could do to you. Because there's so much, like, even when we did the one on the mutant, it's like, this guy can live a fine life after all this. What are you talking about? He can be normal after all this if he does it right. Like, there was so much heavy debate about whether or not what he was doing was, like, gotta kill him or.
It depends, right? Like, anything that's like that, any type of extreme, is harder on your body than not. Mm-hmm. So it depends what you mean by normal life later. Like, if you look at Ronnie Coleman right now, he's not living a normal life. He's living a very painful existence, but that was the sacrifice of getting as large as he was. When you can squat 900 pounds, that's going to take a toll on everything about you.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're not built to do that.
Yeah. Not for an extended period of time, you know?
This is something I have in common with these, like, extreme, like, bodybuilder type people, is, like, the human body isn't good enough. How many times have I said this?
Yeah.
Like, give me something better than this.
Well, we'll get there.
Like, it's pathetic.
We'll get to robot arms.
Like, when my body will be giving me shit, like, with tattoos or piercings. It was really bad with piercings. Like, when I could get there, but my body was not having it.
Yeah.
I was just like, give me something better than this. Humans are too weak.
Yeah, we
need something better.
Yeah. And, like, I mean, again, for me, I think of all of this use as,
what would our ancestors think of us?
Yeah. to me, it's like Elon Musk smoking pot on Jerry and then getting, having to get randomly drug tested by NASA or whatever. It was like these silly things where it's just like, it's okay in the long run. These things are probably okay with good, smart use. Mm-hmm. But since they're not, they're in that gray zone. It's like you have to be super secretive about it. And anytime you're super secretive about anything, I think that shit's bad.
Well, it's not presenting it in the right context either.
It seems more nefarious.
Yeah, it's like, come on, guys, it's not that bad.
Yeah, like if he had just said from the hop, hey, I do hormonal support with my doctor. Okay.
Yeah. Okay,
whatever.
What do you say after that?
Whatever, man. The rest of what he's saying isn't bad. You know what I mean? He's not saying anything negative. He's saying eat good, exercise, be outside. Like, it's all basic shit.
I do understand the people who are upset at the hucksterism of it, though.
Well, because
but
it's either the people that were.
If you thought this guy was serious legit doing that,
God.
you're not very bright. I'm sorry.
Definitely not.
If you got conned into all that stuff, you could have just been like, yeah, he's a pretty interesting dude.
Yeah.
But, like, this is a character.
Yeah.
It's a fucking gimmick.
Yeah.
The guy is a wrestler.
Well, and all those wrestlers were on juice, too.
Of course they were.
Like, come on.
Jesus Christ.
They're beating up their bodies. He's beating up his body. Like, who gives a shit?
He's a professional wrestler interacting with the real world, in my opinion.
The thing that I get concerned about is, like, was this person actually trying to do good? Or was this person just trying to make money?
I think it's like I want to make money first. If I can do some good, that would be great. You know
Like
what I mean?
piggybacking?
Yeah, I think it's
But
like
he already made money. That ranch was already his.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like he's already got his.
Oh yeah, no,
whatever.
I don't think there was no component of I want to help people. I think it was just maybe secondary to how much money can I make while doing so.
Yeah, as fast as I can.
Yeah.
That's the other thing about the hucksterism thing. It's like you got to make as much money as quick as
And
possible.
put it somewhere and keep it safe.
Yeah.
'Cause that bubble is gonna burst.
Send it off to the Cayman Islands, and we're never going to talk about it again.